I remember exactly how the air felt that night. It was October, the kind of cold that sneaks up on you in the Midwest. I was sitting in my car outside a grocery store in Naperville, just staring at my phone. My hands were shaking, not because I was cold, because my mom had just posted something that sliced right through me. The post went up at 7:42 p.m. I know the time because I took a screenshot. I still have it saved in a folder I tell myself I will delete someday, but never do. She wrote, "Some daughters think they know everything, but the real world has a way of humbling you. So proud of my son for always keeping his feet on the ground, unlike his sister who thinks she is too good for her own family." She attached a photo of my brother Mark holding up some award from his job, some meaningless sales trophy. And then she tagged me. She actually tagged me, like she wanted to make sure everyone saw it. The comments came fast. Aunts I had not spoken to in years typing things like, "The truth hurts," and "Sometimes tough love is the only language they understand." My own grandmother liked the post. My grandmother, the woman who taught me how to make pie crust and told me I could be anything I wanted to be. I sat there in my Honda Civic with a gallon of milk slowly getting warm in the passenger seat, and I felt something inside me crack. Not break. Crack. Like ice on a lake when you know it is about to give way. My name is Lauren. I am 26 years old.
I work as a paralegal in Chicago, and up until that moment, I thought I had a normal family. Not perfect, but normal. My dad left when I was 14, ran off with a woman he met at a trade show. My mom never got over it. She turned bitter, and then she turned mean. But for years, I told myself she was just wounded. I made excuses for her. I let her slide because she was my mom. That night, I stopped making excuses. Let me back up a little bit, because none of this happened in a vacuum. The Facebook post was not a one-time thing. It was the final move in a long game my mother had been playing for years. The game where she pitted me and my brother against each other. And for most of my life, I did not even realize I was playing. Mark is 2 years older than me. He is the golden child, always has been. Growing up, he could do no wrong. He got C's in high school and my mom threw him a party. I got A's and she asked why they were not A+. He played football and she went to every game screaming his name. I did debate team and she said it was a waste of time because nobody likes a girl who argues too much. I loved my brother though. That is the sad part. I really loved him. When we were kids, we were close. He used to protect me from bullies on the school bus. He taught me how to ride a bike. We had that sibling bond that felt unbreakable. But somewhere along the way, my mom turned him against me. Not overtly. She didn't have to. She just watered the seeds of competition every single day until they grew into something ugly. By the time I was in college, Mark and I barely talked. He got married young to a girl named Courtney, who my mom adored. Courtney was the perfect daughter-in-law. She stayed home, she cooked, she posted Bible verses on Instagram. Nothing wrong with that. But I was different. I wanted a career. I wanted to live in the city. I did not want to get married at 22 and have babies before I could drink legally. And somehow, that made me a disappointment. I remember coming home for Thanksgiving when I was 24. I had just gotten a promotion at the law firm. I was so proud of myself. I walked into my mom's house with a bottle of wine and a smile, and within 10 minutes, she was asking when I was going to find a husband. She said it in front of everyone. My aunt, my uncle, my brother, his wife. She said, "Lauren, you are not getting any younger. Your eggs are dying." I laughed it off. I always laughed it off. But that night, I cried in my childhood bedroom. The same room with the same lavender walls and the same posters of bands I no longer listened to. I cried because I realized my mother did not like me. She loved me, I guess, but she did not like me. There is a difference. The situation with my boyfriend made everything worse. His name was Jake. We had been together for almost 2 years at that point. Jake was a graphic designer. He had kind eyes and a quiet way of listening that made you feel like the only person in the room. He was patient with me. Too patient, probably. He came from a family that actually talked about their feelings. His mom hugged him hello and goodbye. His dad called just to check in. When I first met them, I thought it was an act. Like no family is actually that nice. But they were. They are.
My mom hated Jake from day one. She said he was too soft. She said he did not make enough money. She said his tattoos made him look like a criminal. He had 2 tattoos, both related to his dead brother. Real criminal behavior. Every time I brought Jake to a family dinner, my mom would find a way to insult him. She would ask him when he was going to get a real job. She would comment on his clothes. She would bring up his lack of a college degree, even though he made $70,000 a year doing something he loved. And Jake just took it. He would squeeze my hand under the table and smile and change the subject. He never fought back. That was his way. But I could see it wearing on him. I could see the light in his eyes dim a little every time we left her house. The breaking point for Jake came last Christmas. We were all at my mom's house, the whole family. Mark and Courtney and their 2 kids, my aunt and uncle, my cousin Sarah, who I actually liked. My mom decided to do one of those gift exchange games where everyone draws numbers and steals presents. It was supposed to be fun. But my mom rigged it somehow so that Jake ended up with a cheap gas station gift card while everyone else got nice things. Then she laughed and said, "Maybe next year you will get something good if you stick around." Jake did not say a word. He just walked out. Not dramatically. He just stood up and walked to his car and drove away. I followed him outside. I found him sitting in his car with his hands on the steering wheel, staring at nothing. He did not look angry. He looked tired. He looked like a man who had finally run out of reasons to keep trying. He said, "Lauren, I love you, but I cannot keep doing this. Your mom hates me, and you will never stand up to her. I am not asking you to choose, but I need you to see what is happening." I got defensive. I told him he was overreacting. I told him that was just how she was. I told him to give her another chance. The same excuses I had been making for a decade. Jake looked at me with so much sadness in his eyes. He said, "You deserve better than this, but you will have to be the one to decide that." We did not break up that night, but something shifted. I felt him pulling away. The texts became shorter. The nights together became fewer. He stopped coming to family things altogether, and I let him, because it was easier than facing the truth about my mother. That brings me back to the Facebook post. October, the cold car, the warm milk, the comment section filling up with people who thought they knew my life. I did not respond. I wanted to. God, I wanted to. I wanted to type something vicious, something that would make my mom feel 1/10 of the pain she had caused me. But I did not. I locked my phone. I drove home. I put the milk in the fridge, and I sat on my couch in the dark for 2 hours, just breathing. The next morning, I woke up to 37 notifications. My mom had added another comment. She wrote, "Lauren, if you are reading this, you know where to find me. I will always love you, even when you make it hard." Make it hard. Like I was the difficult one. Like I had done something to her. That was when I realized something important. My mom was not going to change. She was never going to apologize. She was never going to see me as anything other than the daughter who left her, the daughter who chose a career over a family, the daughter who forgot that her job was to make her mother look good. I called Jake. He did not pick up. I texted him. He replied 2 hours later with a single word. Busy. That was the moment I knew. He was done. Maybe not officially, but emotionally he was gone. And I could not blame him. I had spent 2 years asking him to absorb my mother's abuse. I had watched him shrink himself to fit into my family's dysfunction, and I had done nothing to protect him. I cried that morning. Not quiet tears, the ugly kind. The kind where you cannot breathe and your face gets all swollen and you make sounds you did not know you could make. I cried for Jake. I cried for myself. I cried for the little girl who just wanted her mom to be proud of her. Then I got angry. Anger is a funny thing. People say it is bad. They say you should not hold on to it. But anger saved my life that day. Anger got me off the couch. Anger made me open my laptop. Anger made me start typing. I wrote a response. Not on Facebook. I was smarter than that. I wrote an email. To my mom,
to my brother, to my aunt, and my grandmother, and everyone else who had liked that post. I wrote from a place of truth, not revenge, not spite, just truth. I told them about the first time my mom called me a disappointment. I was 16. I had just gotten a B in math. She said, "Your brother never gave me this stress." I told them about the time she forgot my college graduation because she was at Mark's barbecue. I told them about the Christmas she gave me a scale for a gift. A scale wrapped in pretty paper with a bow. I told them about Jake, about how my mom had been systematically cruel to him for 2 years, about how she made fun of his dead brother. I did not know she knew about that, but she did, and she used it. I wrote for 3 hours. When I was done, I read it twice. Then I hit send. The responses came in waves. My aunt called me 10 minutes later. She was crying. She said she had no idea. My grandmother left a voicemail that just said, "Oh, honey?" My brother Mark sent a text that said, "Wow, just wow." My mom did not respond. Not that day, not the next day, not the whole first week.
I thought I would feel better after sending that email, but I did not. I felt exposed, raw, like I had peeled off my own skin and handed it to people who might not be careful with it. I stopped checking Facebook. I stopped answering calls. I went to work. I came home. I watched mindless television. I slept. That was my life for 12 days. On day 4, Jake came over. He just showed up at my apartment with takeout from our favorite Thai place. He did not say anything about the email. He did not ask how I was doing. He just sat on my couch and put his arm around me and turned on a movie. We watched the whole thing without talking. When it was over, he kissed my forehead and left. It was the most intimate moment we had shared in months. On day 7, my brother showed up at my office, unannounced. He looked different, softer somehow. He sat across from my desk and he cried. I had never seen my brother cry. Not when our dad left. Not when his dog died. Not when Courtney miscarried their first pregnancy. But he cried that day. He said, "I am sorry. I have been cruel to you. I did not even realize it. Mom made me think I was the good one and you were the problem. But I see it now. I see what she did. I wanted to be angry at him. I wanted to say something cutting. But all I could do was hold his hand across my desk and cry with him. We sat there like that for 20 minutes. 2 grown adults sobbing in a law office. My boss walked by and pretended not to see. On day 10, I called Jake. I told him I was ready to talk. That night, we sat on my balcony with blankets wrapped around us, and I told him everything, not just about the email, about my whole life, about the weight I had been carrying since I was 14 years old, about the fear that I would never be enough for anyone because I was never enough for my mom. Jake listened. He did not try to fix anything. He did not offer advice. He just listened. And when I was done, he said, "I love you. I have always loved you. But I need to know that you are going to start choosing yourself and choosing us, because I cannot keep being the only one who fights for this relationship." I told him I was ready. I told him I would prove it. I did not know how yet, but I meant it. On day 12, my mom showed up at my apartment. No call, no text, just a knock on my door at 8 in the morning on a Saturday. I opened it, and there she was. She looked terrible. Her hair was unwashed, her eyes were puffy. She was wearing sweatpants. My mom never wore sweatpants in public. She said, "Can I come in?" I stepped aside. She walked into my living room and looked around, at the photos on my wall, at the books on my shelf, at Jake's hoodie draped over a chair. She looked at everything like she was seeing it for the first time. Then she sat down on my couch and she started to talk. She told me about her own mother, about how my grandmother had played the same game with her, about how she had spent her whole life trying to earn love that was never freely given. She told me about the night my dad left, how she had felt so worthless that she wanted to die, how she had poured all of her pain into me and Mark without even realizing it, how Mark became the golden child because he reminded her of my dad before things went bad, how I became the scapegoat because I looked like my dad's new wife, a woman she had never even met. She said, "I am not asking you to forgive me. I am not asking you to forget. I am just telling you I am sorry. For the first time in my life, I am telling you I am sorry, and I mean it. I sat there listening. I did not interrupt. I did not hug her. I just listened. And when she was done, I said, "Thank you for saying that. But I need time. I need to figure out who I am without your voice in my head telling me I am not good enough." She nodded. She stood up. She walked to the door. Then she turned around and said, "That Facebook post? I deleted it. I also deleted my whole account. I am not going to hide behind a screen anymore. If I have something to say to you, I will say it to your face." After she left, I sat on my couch for a long time. I thought about the last 12 days, about the email, about my brother crying in my office, about Jake showing up with Thai food, about my mom in her sweatpants, saying words she had never said before. I thought about forgiveness, not the Hallmark card kind, the real kind.
The kind that does not erase the past, but makes room for something new. I was not there yet, but for the first time, I could see the path. Jake came over that night. We ordered pizza. We watched a terrible movie. We fell asleep on the couch, tangled up in each other. And when I woke up the next morning, I felt something I had not felt in years. Hope. That was 3 months ago. A lot has changed. My mom started therapy, real therapy, with a licensed professional. She calls me every Sunday now. Not to criticize, just to talk. Sometimes we laugh, sometimes we cry, sometimes we do both. My brother and I are rebuilding. Slowly, awkwardly. We meet for coffee every couple of weeks. We talk about our childhood. We talk about the things we saw differently. We talk about how strange it is to be adults unpacking a past we both survived, but in totally different ways. Jake and I are still together, stronger than before. He is looking at engagement rings. I know, because he is bad at hiding things. I pretend not to notice. But every time he thinks I'm not looking, I see him smiling at his phone. And I know. The Facebook post is gone, but I still have the screenshot. I kept it as a reminder. Not of the pain, but of what happened when I finally stopped being silent. When I finally chose myself. When I finally realized that my mother's opinion of me did not have to be the final word on who I was. Some people ask me why I did not just ignore her, why I made it into such a big deal. Those people do not understand. They have never had a parent look at them like they were a disappointment just for existing. They have never had their own mother turn them into a joke for an audience of people who did not know the real story. I am not a joke. I was never a joke. And the people who matter know that now. The rest of them, the aunts and cousins and strangers who liked that post, they do not matter. They never did. I am Lauren. I am 26 years old. I am a paralegal. I am in love with a man who has tattoos and a dead brother and a heart the size of the Midwest. I have a mother who is trying, a brother who is learning, and a scar that is finally starting to heal. The Facebook post did not destroy me. It woke me up. And 12 days later, my family learned something important. You cannot shame someone into being small forever. Eventually, they will stand up. And when they do, you better be ready to meet them eye to eye. I found out the full truth a few weeks after my mom came to my apartment. She told me something she had never told anyone, the real reason my dad left. It was not just an affair. It was worse. He had been stealing from his own company, embezzling money, and my mom found out. She threatened to turn him in, so he left. But before he left, he told everyone, including my grandparents, that my mom was crazy, that she made it all up, that she was the reason their marriage failed. For 10 years, my mom carried that secret. She let people believe she was the villain, because the alternative was admitting that she had married a criminal, that she had chosen wrong, that her whole life was built on a lie. I asked her why she never told me. She said, "Because I did not want you to hate your father. Every child deserves to love their parent, even if that parent does not deserve it." I thought about all the years I had been angry at her, all the times I blamed her for being bitter and cold, and I realized something terrible.
She was not bitter because my dad left. She was bitter because she protected him. She swallowed his poison to keep me from drinking it, and it destroyed her. That did not excuse the way she treated me. Nothing excuses that. But it helped me understand. People hurt people because they are hurt. It is not an excuse, but it is an explanation. I started going to therapy too. Not because my mom was going, because I needed to. I needed to untangle the knots she had tied in me. My therapist is a woman named Diane. She has gray hair and kind eyes, and she does not let me get away with anything. When I make excuses, she calls me out. When I deflect, she brings me back. She told me something in our third session that I will never forget. She said, "Lauren, you have spent your whole life trying to earn love that should have been given to you for free. You do not have to do that anymore. You can just be. And that is enough." Those words broke something open in me. I cried in her office for 45 minutes. Ugly crying. The kind where you cannot stop and you do not want to. When I left, I felt lighter. Not fixed, but lighter. I started setting boundaries with my family. Real boundaries. Not the passive-aggressive kind. The clear, honest kind. I told my mom that if she ever insulted Jake again, I would leave. No discussion, no explanation, just leave. She has not tested that boundary yet. I hope she never does. I told my brother that I love him, but I cannot be his competitor anymore. We are not in a race. There is no finish line. He agreed. He told me he was tired of winning a game he never wanted to play. We are learning, all of us. It is messy. It is hard. Some days I want to go back to the old way, the way where I just swallowed everything and pretended it did not hurt. That was easier, but it was not better. Last week, my mom called me and asked if I wanted to go to lunch, just the two of us. I said yes. We went to a diner near her house, the same diner she took me to when I was a kid after my piano recitals. We ordered pancakes. We talked about nothing important. The weather, her garden, my job. It was normal. It was boring. It was perfect. When we were done, she looked at me and said, "I am proud of you, Lauren. I should have said it more. I should have said it always, but I am saying it now. I am proud of the woman you have become." I did not cry. I wanted to, but I did not. I just smiled and said, "Thank you, Mom." That was enough. I still have the screenshot. I look at it sometimes, not to feel bad, but to remember how far I have come. That woman sitting in a cold car with warm milk and a broken heart is not me anymore. She was brave, she was sad, she was lost, but she was not broken. She just did not know her own strength yet. If you are reading this and you have a parent who makes you feel small, I want you to know something. You are not the problem. You are never the problem. The problem is the voice inside their head that tells them they are not enough. That voice is not your fault, and it is not your job to fix it. You can love someone and still protect yourself from them. You can forgive someone and still keep your distance. You can understand why they hurt you without accepting that hurt as your destiny. The Facebook post did not turn me into a joke. It turned me into someone who finally stopped laughing along. And that is the real story. No lessons, no moral, just the truth of what happened. The truth of a daughter who decided she was worth more than her mother's silence. The truth of a family that almost broke, but chose to bend instead. I do not know what comes next. None of us do. But for the first time in my life, I am not afraid of the answer. I have Jake, I have my brother, I have a mom who is trying, and I have myself. The self I was always supposed to be. Not the one my mother wanted, not the one my father abandoned. Just me. Lauren, 26, finally free. The milk went bad, by the way. I left it in the car that night. When I found it the next morning, it had curdled. I threw it away. Some things cannot be saved, but some things can. And that is the difference between then and now. I learned to throw away the things that were already gone and hold on to the things that were still fighting to stay.
Jake proposed last weekend, in our kitchen. No fancy dinner, no dramatic speech. He just got down on one knee while I was making coffee and asked me to marry him. I said yes before he even finished the sentence. My mom cried when I told her. Happy tears. The first happy tears I have ever seen her cry. She hugged Jake so tight he pretended to gasp for air. My brother clapped me on the back and said, "Welcome to the family," as if I was the one being adopted. I posted the engagement announcement on Facebook. Just a simple photo of my hand with the ring. No caption, no tag. The likes and comments came in. People I had not talked to in years saying congratulations. People who had liked my mom's post, now acting like nothing happened. I did not block them. I did not call them out. I just let them exist in their own small world, because I do not live there anymore. My mom is planning the wedding with me, without criticism, without conditions. She asks what I want, and then she helps me get it. It is strange, beautiful, strange and beautiful. Jake's mom is helping too. The two of them are becoming friends, my mother and my future mother-in-law.
They text each other, they share recipes, they tag each other in memes. I watch them and I feel like I am living in an alternate universe, one where my mom is not the villain, just a person, flawed and scared and trying. The Facebook post is gone from my feed, but it is not gone from my memory. It lives there like a scar, faded but present, a reminder of the night everything changed. I do not regret any of it. Not the post, not my mom's cruelty, not the 12 days of silence, not the email, not the tears, not the fight, because all of it led me here, to this kitchen, to this ring, to this man, to this version of myself that I actually like. My mom turned me into a joke on Facebook. For 12 days, the joke was on me, but then the joke was on her, and then the joke stopped being funny, and then it stopped being a joke at all. It just became a story about a daughter who refused to stay silent, a mother who finally listened, and a family that learned the hard way that love is not a competition. It is a choice, made new every single day. I am Lauren, and I am not a joke. I never was.